This episode of Legendary is brought to you by Netflix. For a free 30-day trial, head on over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV.
GameBreaker TV.
What's up, Shaman? It's Legendary. Welcome. It's episode, 141? Damn, losing track. I'm Gary again. Coming up in tonight's show, we've got news on new character models, the item squish is coming, and will there actually be a patch 5.5? All that and more. But first, from WoW Insider, Zam, right here at GameBreaker.tv, back from Germany, and swearing over a beer for last week's Olivia D. Grace.
Extremely mysterious this week. I found this mask on the floor.
Extremely mysterious.
I found a mask on the floor and I was like, I should put this on my face. That's what I should do with it.
You should wear the
put it on my
entire show.
Yeah, okay. Let's do this.
Good.
Hi.
Also coming to us somewhere from outside PAX, Seattle. It's Mr. Pat Crane. How are you, sir? In a very yellow
Hello,
room.
I'm coming. Very, very yellow room. It's an extremely yellow room. I can't get away from the yellow. It's horrible.
What's up, Mr. Crane? And the asparagus fields of Azeroth. Deep within the dark below from Convert to Raid, it's Coltrane.
Oh, hello, Gary. Oh,
hello.
I didn't see you there.
Oh.
You know, Gary, I was playing tennis the other day, and clearly my opponent hated my serve because he kept returning it. Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
All right, that's bad. That's really bad.
Horrible.
It's either that or you don't want to fart on an elevator. It's wrong on many levels. I mean, it's going together.
Is that on page 19? What is that?
Yes. I'm sorry.
No good.
Wow.
It's inappropriate.
Right.
It's completely
Nice to meet you,
inappropriate.
Gary.
Nice
Glad
to
to be
meet
on the
you. Yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, welcome.
Before I even get into the show, we got some new show coming up on Game Breaker here.
Oh.
Ooh.
It sounds mysterious. I like it.
Yeah.
Can I put the mask back on? I'm going to put the mask back on.
This is Coltrane, and it's time to read some YouTube comments that'll make you wanna vomit. Wow, Gary, could you crank up the douchebag dial a little more? Hey, Mike, stop using speed. Lol. The top two are facts. Go have sex with World of Warcraft. Fuckers.
This show is genius. We haven't even got to turn this into video yet, but I had to play it because it's freaking genius. I love it. We need a name for this show. It's amazing. I don't know, but hats off, sir. With a voice like that, I'd be doing that all day long.
Oh, Gary. All for you, buddy. Gary.
I can't even talk to you when you do that voice. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I
have to thank my mother for my voice. It's all my mother.
Right.
A
Right.
little creepy growing up, but that's fine.
Not the asparagus. Not the asparagus.
No.
All right, so let's let's talk about some shit. First up this week, we had a big interview week. Lots of interviews on the World of Warcraft front. We did an interview last week, so we didn't actually get to talk about anything that's happened since episode 139, I guess. Big news. Hearthstone beta has released, and bigger news, Hearth Nation has launched. Yes, much bigger news than the game actually going into beta is a community website that we have launched. So much bigger, larger, much bigger than Coltrane's voice.
Yes. Hearthstone, hearthnation.com. Ganon.
I love
I'm
it.
not even drunk yet.
Well, at least
check
you
it
put
out,
in the yet. At least you
Yes.
put in the yet. You're
we
fine.
were out of alcohol. Shaftnet's going to get beer, so we'll be back with that.
Uh-oh.
Sent your minion to get some
Beer
beer.
run.
Go,
Beer
Shaftnet.
run. But yes, Hearthstone beta has released. I have been losing sleep. I can't stop playing this effing game. It's so ridiculously
Yeah.
addictive. I can't
Yeah.
stop. It's like 4 a.m. and my wife is like, "Go to sleep." I'm like, "Honey," she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm playing cards on the internet with people."
At least you're not gambling money. God.
Yeah, that could be worse. But what are you guys thinking of? Is
Yeah.
everybody playing it? I mean, I am like just
Oh, yeah.
completely addicted to it.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm definitely playing it. I had kind of a slow start with it because I was kind of not enjoying it at first, and I'm kind of slowly getting sucked into it now. Like at first I was just like, not really liking this that much, and kind of getting frustrated and kind of getting angry with it. I prefer because I've been playing this game called OCD, which is like Order and Chaos Duels, and like I've been playing that for ages, and it's that I really liked. And then I went into Hearthstone, and it was a bit counterintuitive to me from that. So yeah, at first I was just like, and now I'm like, okay, no, I'm getting into it now. I'm slowly getting into it. I found a deck I like, and I'm slowly getting into it.
That's the big thing is the deck building. The deck building is not as easy as it seems. Like I'm a terrible deck builder.
Yeah.
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 I've actually been putting out on the internet how terrible I am at this game, how much I'm losing, how terrible I am at building decks, all this kind of. I'm teaching people how not to play.
How not to
Hearthstone.
play Hearthstone.
Oh,
It's getting harder and harder too. And it's getting more frustrating because everybody's getting better and better because everybody's just playing
Yeah.
nonstop.
And they're getting better
Accelerating
cards. Like that
Yes.
ancient guardian, that thing's OP, H-Stone. That thing's got like 14 health. Like, what the
Right.
heck? 14 health? Now, Taunt
side-
card ain't going to work for that. Little footy.
Side note, Coltrane, was that really you last night coming into the Final Fantasy link show?
Yeah, man, that was me.
Oh, wait, we weren't
Were
really
you
sure.
there?
Sort of. I'm always there. I'm everywhere. I've got
You're
ears
everywhere.
and I've got minions everywhere. Somebody's like, hey, somebody just texted me. I think it's Coltrane. I'm like, he's probably lying. Let's ask a question.
They asked vegetable. I said asparagus because asparagus is the only vegetable that after you eat it an hour later, you're reminded that you ate
Yeah.
asparagus.
That's right.
It's true. It's the gift that keeps
But no,
on
that
giving.
was me. In fact, in
Oh,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy, it's 2 names, so my name was Coltrane. So I really not very creative, I gotta admit, but it worked.
The coal train.
Any criticisms from anybody on the Hearthstone so far?
I think their tutorial needs some work. Like, I think they don't make it easy enough for people who are kind of new to the whole, they show you how to, the mechanics of how to literally play the game. Like, this is how you attack, this is how you do this and that actual thing. And they're like, there you go, have fun, maybe better build a deck and win all the PvE matches. And then
You learn through playing. Don't you learn
Yeah,
through
you
playing?
do, and I agree that you do. I agree that you do, but I think that it could be I know that some other friends of mine who are in the beta as well have been having some they don't know what to do. It took me a little while to figure some aspects out of it because I'm not that pro at all this stuff. But it's just
Right.
I think they could do a better tutorial of this is how you ought to build a deck. And I think their deck building wizard kind of sucks right now. Not very
I don't
intuitive.
know. I agree with you that it sucks in a sense that it's really hard to build a really good deck and they don't really lead. They give you suggest a card and you just pick one and then your deck absolutely blows.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Right.
But that's the part of CCGs, right? That's the thing that you need to get really good at is trying to figure out your strategy, figure out your gameplay stuff. And what deck
Yeah.
are you playing? What deck are you liking the most?
I'm playing a hunter deck really a lot, and especially early on, it seemed like hunter and warrior and mage. There's some really powerful characters right away that I was playing anyway, and that worked for me. And the hunter deck kind of stuck with me. I'm doing this full beast blown out thing, and most of the time it works right up until the last couple of moves, and then I lose it. And then I just I'm done.
I think the hunter deck has really, really good, it's really easy to build a good hunter deck early on because of the way the beasts all work together.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
you've got
forgiving.
that thing that, amps up your beasts, all your beasts' attack and health, early on. So I think it's a good one to start with. I've been playing hunter deck and shaman deck, obviously, and they've been having fun with both of those. I love this thing with the shaman deck where you just, get one card, which is, +1 for +1/+1 for every minion you have on the board.
Yeah.
Just be like, right, I'm going to get out every totem and all these little cards, and then like, look, I'm going to one-shot you. Hi.
Well, that's the trick, right? That's the trick for the shaman. It's like you can kind of like get people who really don't know how they're playing, and then you just like throw some stuff on the board, and you're like, oh, I got this. They're all ones. And then all like 2 seconds later, they're all like 19/19s or something, and you're just like
exactly.
nuked in like 30
lol.
seconds.
Yeah,
Well,
I was actually.
like- Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just saying I sat down with, I was lucky enough to hang out with Hamilton Chu and Ben Simpson at Gamescom, who were two of the devs of Hearthstone. And I was chatting about that whole shaman strat of just like, blow someone up. And they're like, yeah, someone managed to do that and did 46 damage in one turn.
Whoa.
Wow.
Doing that with the shaman deck. It's like, whoa, that is extreme. Like double wind furies and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's definitely fun.
It's crazy.
What deck you playing, Coltrane?
I'm actually going with the Warlock deck, actually, Gul'dan. I kind of dig the Warlock deck. I play a mage in WoW, but so of course I start with the mage and I'm just getting rocked, but I'm having more luck with the Warlock. But then I get I'm doing great and I'm winning matches and I'm like, oh man, I'm awesome. And then I just get destroyed like 6 in a row. So
Right.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on, but so sometimes I'm doing good and sometimes I'm doing really bad. So,
Yeah.
one thing that I really like is that I've always been interested in Magic. Like I go to these cons and I see people and they're playing Magic and there's like 40 cards and I don't know what's going on. And one thing that this game has done is it's kind of introduced a player like me into this world, and it's something that I've always been intimidated by. But now I feel more confident that I can lose in real life playing this now, so it's great.
Yeah.
So
To
I really
not
like
feel
it.
like there's a
for sure.
nerd standing across from you going like, sir, you suck really bad, at least.
Exactly.
Which is like a key component that they won't give you. Everybody wants a chat system so you can like yell and troll each other, but they're not
Yeah.
going to do it, which would be, it's kind of good to make, keep the toxicity out of the community, I think, but still. I'm playing a mage deck a ton, but it's all about the deck
Yeah.
building. I did not think I was going to like this game as much as I'm liking it. Like I was like,
know.
oh, let me try this, and I tried it, and I was like, holy shit, it's 5 a.m. What? Oh my God.
Gary, I don't know if you recall. I think that I said something along the lines of Hearthstone is going to be it's a game. It's whatever. No, it's totally addictive.
It's
Sorry.
it's an addiction.
I'm playing it all the time. I'm playing it here at PAX for crying out loud.
And it's so easy to just be like, one more game.
That's it.
Just one more match.
I finished the show notes for Legendary at 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, the show probably won't start till 4. Totally fit in a game of Hearthstone. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Just do something else.
Well, we are going to talk about some more World of Warcraft stuff, but yes. Beta keys are the hottest thing going right now for Hearthstone, and we do have beta keys. We're giving them away at hearthnation.com. The giveaway is going to be tomorrow, Friday, for the first round of beta keys that we will be giving out. So you have time still if you're watching this live, or if you're watching this early in the replay. I think it ends at midnight on Friday. That's PDT. So get on over there. Go to hearthnation.com. That is our brand new Hearthstone website, part of the Game Breaker network here, and get in there and enter, because everybody freaking wants a key, and damn, they're being limited they're being very stingy. So
They are
good
being
luck. Good luck. I hope you win one, because
luck.
it is fun. It is fun.
Yes.
All right, this is a World of Warcraft show. Not that Hearthstone isn't World of Warcraft, but there's a ton of World of Warcraft news to talk about. So let's see. This week, 5.4 is coming, and there have been like a ridiculous amount of developer interviews. We sat down with Greg Street, G Street, King of the Beat, and Ion,
Ian.
Ion,
Ganon.
Ian,
Ion.
Has
Ian,
It was even spelled.
has a costisastus.
has a costas.
How's a coaster?
Legendary, you
Making it
guys,
my fault.
you talked to him with Mike Schaffner the last Friday. If you guys have not checked out the interview, make sure to go watch it on Game Breaker TV in its entirety. There's a lot of really good stuff on there. Lots of good stuff coming out of the Gamescom as well. So I guess rather than going through these one at a time, I guess let's just hit some of the big news that got revealed since we last took. First up, the one thing that was mentioned in our interview was the possibility of a patch 5.5. Game director Tom Chilton and lead content designer Corey Stockton have also talked about this in some other interviews around the webs. It seems like there's a strong possibility of another patch coming in Pandaria, but it won't be raid content. Wait,
Thank
shit,
God.
I don't. Wait, shit, hang on, shit, wait.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
I didn't have it ready.
We missed.
I didn't. Well, I don't know. What's everybody's take on this? Are you guys disappointed? Are you excited? There's got to be something up their sleeve.
From talking with Ian, it sounded like there was going to be something that the encounter team is actually working on. So there still can be some encounters, but not necessarily raid content. So I don't know exactly what it is. It could be like a world event. It could be, something cool like that. It really could be any type of storytelling mechanism for just kind of wrapping up the Mists of Pandaria expansion, doing something a little bit more. They're hesitant to call it 5.5, by the way. They really don't want to use that term, and I don't know why.
Why?
Yeah, see, that's funny. It's funny you should say that, because when I spoke to Tom and Corey about this at Gamescom, and I was like, is there going to be a patch 5.5? Because yeah, we're looking at a patch 5.5. Yeah, definitely, we're looking at a patch 5.5h.
Like everything else,
it's not going to be a raid. They said it's not going to be definitely not going to be a raid.
Right.
But yeah, but I bet it's more freaking scenarios. Bet you that's what it is.
I heard that they're
going to
bring in
scenarios.
I heard there's going to be 5.5 more scenarios.
Yeah, 5.5 more scenarios.
Yeah.
5 heroic ones and 1 normal one, which is only half a scenario anyway.
As the convert to raid team, are you guys disappointed that it won't be a raid?
No. I'm ecstatic, personally, because 15 bosses is a lot of bosses. Now, my fellow raiders, we love bosses. We do. We love this content, and Throne of Thunder was great, but we got to admit here, guys, I mean, that was 15 bosses. That's going to be a lot of work, and then you got heroics, you know what I mean? We got a lot of content here. So, personally, it depends on raid teams, like those that are hardcore and heroics, they love this. But to a more casual team, maybe that raids one night a week, 15 bosses is going to take a long time. That's a lot of work. Right. So for me, believe it or not, as a raider, I'm okay with it not being raid content, because I'm probably going to be stepping into heroics and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be busy. You know what I mean?
Getting busy. Liv, you think it's going to be, you think it's scenarios, huh?
Because they've been pretty adamant that it's not a raid. Personally, I would actually love a Hallian style, just a sort of real quickie little thing in the end there.
Don't you remember how that turned out though in Rat?
Yeah,
I mean, that was not good. That was
okay.
There were
let
no
me rephrase, a well executed Hallian style.
Oh, well, that's different. That's totally different.
Yeah, no, I have a sneaking suspicion that because they're saying it would make sense, patch 5.1, patch 5.3, patch 5.5. They've added scenarios and maybe some PvP content would be nice. But honestly, at this point, I don't know what they're going to add. They've got nothing in the pipeline right now. They've got they've kind of said outright that the Dota, the Defense of the Alehouse Battleground, is dead in the water completely. And what was the other one? Ajara Crater that we heard about a while ago.
Oh,
I can't see it being that. So I think the default is going to be scenarios. When you said world event though, do you remember how many people raged that there wasn't a proper world event apart from Theramore? And maybe it's that. That could be cool. Some kind of burning legions, raining green stuff from the sky kind of thing. That could be quite cool. It hasn't occurred to me.
It could also be a prep for the new expansion. Typically at the end of an expansion, they have a big event, that leads us up. Like Cataclysm, they had all the warlocks out there, and then the Lich King, he was doing his whole thing. So maybe in 5.5, it's a prep for, I don't know, what's the big rumor? Dark Below, or something like that.
Dark Below.
I mean, that's really the result of Taco Tuesday, but we don't need that.
Because they also have the story patches, don't they? They always have when you start the start of Mists of Pandaria, before it starts for reals, you kind of had the story patch where it sort of introduces you to things, and same with Kata. It's I don't remember, it was a long time ago. But yeah, you sort of have the 0.0, the very, very, very first patch of the new expansion, which isn't actually the expansion proper. It's the sort of lead-in patch. So I don't know whether that is this, or whether this is something else entirely. I just bet you it's scenarios.
People seem to be really worried about the whole thing, though, right? I mean, is it just that they're thinking back to old Dragon Soul and what that was like, and they're just all freaking out?
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember that these guys have really sped along their timeline for releasing new content. They've been really, really good about releasing new content on this regular basis, where every 2 months we've seemed to get a new patch, or and then 2 months after that, a new raid. And so they've been working really fast, and I don't think that they're going to be slowing down at all. So I don't think we'll have another, really long time with the end of Throne of Thunder. I don't think it'll be a really long time. However, their timelines, I think they got to push it now.
Yeah, well, this is
that they get into that next expansion soon.
Well, this is it. Like this, and this is again. I was like sat down, like poked Tom and Corey about this for quite some time. I was like, well, you know, we've got 2 months now before the next expansion is inevitably announced at BlizzCon, and then you know, even if it went into beta that day, Mr. Pandaria beta was 6 months. So I was like, well, are we going to see a shorter beta cycle for this one? And Tom's response was like, no, I would be really surprised if that was the case. So that's already 8 months. Like, if he's correct, if he's not just like completely telling lies, that's already 8 months of Siege of Orgrimmar.
I love that Liv is like trying to, in every way, shape, or form, box him into like a calendar corner. I'm just like, how many ways can I ask this question to try and get a timeline out of you? Possibly.
I'm writing this down.
Yes. That's funny. But like you said, Coltrane, I mean, like with 15 bosses, I mean, do you think that there's any possibility? I mean, of course, some people are going to burn through it and be wanting more content for sure. But do you think the majority of people are going to be like totally, you know, they've got enough to do with 15 bosses? I mean, it sounds like it's going to be plenty of content for people to go through is it going to last 8 months though?
I mean, it's a good question. And Ian Hazakostas said in the interview that, you know, he thinks that there is going to be plenty of content there. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact is, and Pat was saying it, that Blizzard with Mists of Pandaria has released content faster than any other expansion. They just have. If you just look at how quickly they've gotten these patches out, they've really been hauling bouteille. So, you know, in fact, actually, I remember reading the boards and there were complaints that the content was coming too fast. You know, people were too upset about it. So
slow down.
If this 8-month thing is true, I mean, you're right. I mean, this was a thing where I remember Ice Crown came out and people were, you know, you're doing laps around Dalaran like all day in World of Warcraft. That's all you're doing. People do get bored. They want new content. They want something new and fresh. So, you know, 5.5, maybe, you know, scenarios, maybe there's a little extra juice to kind of hold us over. But for me as a raider, I think 15 bosses is good.
I just thought of something.
What?
Do you think it's so that they have a window to launch Hearthstone?
What?
Hey,
Gopher.
Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yes.
I don't know. Really, what if they need a window, right? They can't just like overlap and kind of release like a game built in the World of Warcraft universe, like, you know, right on the heels of or tails of an expansion. That'd be insane. They've got to kind of like build in a buffer. The game feels like a finished game. It needs a little bit. We're not testing bugs here. We're testing balance issues, right? They're gonna alter a few numbers and change a few cards, but really the game is practically done.
Right. Yeah. Like Ancient Guardian, 14 health. Come on now.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of things that they're fixing. I know, like the 8-month question is a really hard one for me because sure, you're gonna blast through. Like you've got your normal modes, like my guild, based on our sort of current progression. We'll probably get into heroics like towards the tail end of the 8-month period. Like we'll probably not get full heroic clear, but we'll probably get like halfway through the heroics in the time. But the problem is you're doing that on Raid Finder, just like it's constantly, and flex raiding as well. And we're going to be sick to death of that raid in 8 months because of Raid Finder, not because of actually doing it like. And I hate to say like properly, but like in normal or heroic mode, we're going to be sick to death of it because of Raid Finder.
Well, I don't think
that's what's causing fatigue.
I think that you know, the interesting thing here is going to be flex and how that actually ends up getting used by people, and what happens with LFR as soon as people realize that, hey, maybe we can actually pug a flex raid and be okay, and be able to talk with everybody and be able to kind of bring them in. And so I'm kind of curious. I don't think we'll necessarily see a lot of people using LFR ad nauseum like they do right now. Because right now, I mean, it gets to be, if you are a raider and you're going through LFR every week to make sure that you get some of those teardrops or something like that you're not getting in raid, and you're still doing it right now, man, that is a lot of LFR. And it's way too much when you stack that on top of raid night as well. So hopefully what this will do, what Flex will do, will alleviate some of that LFR, because that way you won't, at least you'll kind of maybe hopefully know everybody that you're raiding with, or be able to talk to them at least. Be able to kind of hold them accountable for knowing what they're doing. So so little things like that. And so hopefully we won't see as much burnout with LFR, and that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hopeful.
I don't know, man. Olivia brings up a great point. I think with the accessibility and ease of LFR, like because they're going to gate them. So once all the wings are open, a week or two later, everyone's going to be like, all right, what's next? I'm done. I've killed Garrosh. I got my, armor. I got my loot. That's really what it's all about.
But you didn't get your heirloom weapon because you weren't in Mog set there, Olivia, because you didn't do it in Flex or higher. So I mean, they're trying to coax people into this group play, but we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I have to say I don't do Raid Finder. I do it occasionally. I'll do it at first to get an eye level where I'm happy to step into normal modes, but I don't do it every week. Jesus, I'm just more thinking about people who are the people who are a bit more serious about it than me, who are going to be, having a really hard time there. But me, and then the people who are doing it in a sort of the more casual end of the spectrum, who aren't doing LFR with a view to hop up into something. Their content's done when they kill Garrosh, and it's sort of like, I don't know. I think, Trekkie was just saying in chat, it's going to be 8 to 10 months, and I was just like, wow, the idea of one raid for 10 months, 8 months, it just seems like, I don't know, maybe I'm being excessively negative. It just seems like it's going to be a long time.
Well, and that's why I think that 5.5 or whatever they're going to call it, and it's kind of interesting to hear that they may be working on some encounter stuff for 5.5 at least. So maybe there's a little bit, not necessarily a raid buffer, but something for PvE groups to do. I mean, that'd be something at least.
Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, PvP is great. PvPers get very happy at that time because all of a sudden, all of our PvE friends want to come play with us. And people care suddenly about PvP.
Because there's nothing else to do. All right, I want to dig into more of these interviews. But first, I want to tell you guys about Netflix. Support Gamebreaker by supporting our sponsors. Go over to netflix.com/GamebreakerTV. Sign up for a free 30-day trial. If you guys have not done this yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. You download the app to your iOS device, your iPhone, your iPad, maybe your Roku, Apple TV, maybe the newly released Chromecast, which I'm rocking here in the studio, which I highly recommend, by the way, if none of you have picked this up. You guys seen the Chromecast? The Chromecast is boss. $35. Looks like a USB key. Nice. It's got an HDMI input. You plug it into your TV, and boom, you're streaming Netflix and all kinds of other content. It's a great device.
Smart.
No, it's
Does it work
awesome.
with really old TVs that just have Scott?
Probably not. You kind of need at least you need an HDMI input.
Need a new TV.
No.
If you have an HDMI input, it works. That's all you need pretty much. It sets up a Wi-Fi network. It's actually really neat. It sets up a Wi-Fi network, and then you use your iPhone as the remote control.
That is
nice.
pretty smart.
This is your remote.
It's time for a new TV.
You open up YouTube, you hit a button, you hit play, and boom, it's on your TV. It's pretty amazing. It's super cheap too. I own all of these stupid devices because I'm just a nerd like that, and I'm I gotta check out the Apple TV and the Roku. This is my favorite one. It's tiny. It's awesome. Check it out, and it streams Netflix. More services are coming as well as Google signs them on. But it's definitely worth it. Netflix though. Check it out. Check out Breaking Bad episodes, Orange is the New Black, Arrested Development, all the great stuff. All the Netflix originals that are only on Netflix up there. Definitely check those out. House of Cards. A lot of people loving that. Orange is the New Black from the creator of Weeds.
Yeah.
Kind of like Weeds in Prison.
Yep.
It
pretty much is. It's like what happens when she gets caught and gets thrown in jail. There you go. Here it is.
Pretty much. But great. Check it out. So just use the URL. Go over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV. Got to use that URL. Sign up. Make an account. Start streaming. No bandwidth caps. No movie caps. Nothing like that. Absolutely free for 30 days. Watch as many movies and TV shows as you possibly can. Lots of great comedy on here as well. We were talking about that the other day. Mm-hmm. I end up watching all the Louis C.K. stuff, at least 3 months. I got to watch them all. So they're all up there. Check it out today. Go to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV. I want to talk about more dev interviews, but I actually want a PAX update. I don't know. I'm just curious. What's going on at PAX, man? What's happening?
They are setting up stuff. I went through the expo area recently, and they're setting up all the stuff. I saw WildStar there. I saw a bunch of other games that I just want to go check out. I just want to go check this stuff out. And all the stuff in the PC area. They have a free play area. They have a bring your own computer area. They have tournaments going on. They've got just tons and tons of activity down at the at the convention center right now.
When is it open? So right now it's not open. It's just they're just setting stuff up.
No,
So it actually-
tomorrow.
oh, okay. So it actually smells okay. Still, it's still okay.
Yeah, no, it's still okay. The toilets are not backed up quite yet.
Oh,
But that's
boy.
going to be coming at about, I think,
that a
probably
thing?
about 10:30, 11 o'clock. No, it's not really.
Did you
a
bring
thing. It's
Febreze? Febreze and a surgical mask. That's those
Yeah,
are
exactly.
two things you need to go on every PAX trip. Surgical mask, Febreze, you're good.
Right.
Yeah,
You-
wow.
Gonna be a lot
wanna-
of, if it's yellow, let it mellow. Going
You
on.
want to avoid the PAX plague at all costs. So
Yeah, PAX Pox is not
Gross.
fun. Yes, everybody comes
Yeah.
home
What
with
is
it.
it with PAX? Like, Gamescom had 340,000 people there,
it's
and the
because
loos were fine, and no one got sick.
it's
After my-
4,000 degrees there. No.
After my
Yeah, it was
last
pretty
PAX,
hot. It was
I said I was going to
hot.
build a suit of fans just blowing away from me. That's what I was going
Yeah.
to build. Just go
Yeah.
walk-
Like away from you, not even going towards you, just like
No,
away.
no,
Just
I don't
like,
want it to. No, I
make your
definitely
own
don't
personal
want it
bubble.
towards you.
You
That
don't
would be
want to
the
sucking
opposite.
air towards you.
Toward me would be the opposite effect of what I wanted at PAX for sure.
You'd just be passing out constantly.
Wow.
Yeah. All right,
somebody,
next up.
Somebody actually burped in my face. Well, not even in my face, but it was a they were drinking Monster.
Burped in your
and
face?
They burped like 10 feet away from me, and then it wafted over. I'm like, this
See,
is
there you go.
a good weekend.
Wow.
I can tell.
Welcome to
So,
PAX Pack.
that's right. Thank
That
you.
is horrendous.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
All right, so let's get up back at the dev interviews. I was just curious what's going on over there. Corey and Tom were at a roundtable in Germany and dropped a bomb when they were asked about the new character models and when those guys would be coming. So they were giving the usual "we're working on it" response. When someone put them on the spot and asked what percentage was done, they came up with, and I'd love to know how this percentage. 25%. Hey, 25%.
Yep. It was like 20, 25. Yeah, 20,
Yeah.
25.
And even it was
For
like even
years.
like
2.5.
25%. Like
2.5 years. 2.5 years.
I was obviously
Because of
at
the
this
lunch
round.
break?
The thing is, because I was at this round table, and this guy from this other fan site they were like, doing the usual, oh, well, obviously we're working on it. It's a long, slow process. And he was like, okay, what percentage? And they were just like, and then Tom
25.
was like, maybe 20, maybe 20. I'd say maybe 20. And then Corey was like, no, I'd say 25. I think 25 is a safe number. He's like, all right, 25.
Is the janitor
even it's not
working
like
on this in his spare time?
Gosh.
Like when he's done mopping the floor, he's like coding character models? What's taking 2.5 years?
Right. Well, time to work on the beards. All right. It's ridiculous. I just don't know. They've been on this for so many years, like you're saying, and they're only at 25%. I mean, they did say in the interview that this is kind of difficult because this is about your character. This is who, for some players who've been playing since vanilla, like myself, you log in with this one guy, you identify with this character. This is
The
you.
soul of the character, Coltrane.
That's
Yeah.
right. So they're
The
trying to capture the
soul.
essence of these 4 polygons that makes up your orc face with these new animations. That's what they're trying to do.
Your feet and
Yeah.
hands are going to take about another 6 years.
Well, that's what Corey, one of the things that they were saying was taking so long was like one of the things with this whole soul of the character, like they were sort of saying that they sit there with like looking at like, you want the eyebrows to be the same and the eyes to be the same. And they look there, like they put the dwarves next to each other and say, right, run the animation on both the old and the new. Does it have the same character? Does it have the same sort of panache, etc.? And the other thing is they're having to do all these new animations because previously when you point, you're like, I'm pointing at you, the internet. Go over there. Did you see that thing over there? It's like an oven mitt. And now it's like, all this. And they've got to animate all this. They've got to animate your hands. The hands of your character have to be animated.
That's creepy.
And it's like, that's going to take a while. And they've got a ton to do. Like they're trying to make all the different
Are you buying it? They're making
faces
such a
and all
big
the
deal
gear.
about this, though. They're making such a big deal about this. Are you the
You
soul
know what
of
I
your
think
character?
it is?
Thank you.
I think they came in way too early with it. I think they came out with it, were like, yeah, we're totally working on new character models. And they're like, the people who were doing it were like, wait, we're working on what? We're working on Cataclysm right now. We're not working on new character models.
Right.
We're going to do Mr. Pandaria.
I have to ask, between us girls, does it really need to be that, like, close to the original? Can we just
That's
get
what I'm
these
saying.
out?
Though. Like, wouldn't you just be happy if they just looked much better? Like, you just be like,
Right.
oh, wow, I look different, but they
Yeah.
look really freaking cool.
Right.
Like, I agree.
I don't need the soul
tricky.
of my original character. I don't need that.
No, the soul of my original, like the original orc that I tried very first time, so cartoony and dumb. I don't care about cartoony and dumb. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I still like it. But something a little bit more realistic. I mean, that would be a cool change of pace, right? So. Yeah.
If my orc can still dance like MC Hammer, but look better at it, then I'm great.
Yeah, definitely.
Done.
I don't know, I can really see it though. Like I can really see it for people who RP, for people who like invest in the story of their characters. They want it to be the same-ish, like close-ish. Like they just want it to maintain that character.
Oh, Shafton wants to chime in. He wants to say something.
He wants to chime in.
Of course he does. Of course.
Of course he does.
So here's
what
the thing,
though, Shaft?
Because I heard what you guys were saying about the soul of your character. Like the soul. Hey, what's up, everybody? The soul of your character, like that existed for druids. They did a remodel for the feral druids when cats got a new upgrade, and like, yeah, some people argued and didn't want that to change. I guarantee you, everybody's forgotten about it. No one even remembers or cares about the old model at all. Right. So you might care for the first 3 months, but it's null and void after a while. All right, got to go back to work.
Thanks.
Do you remember how how much people freaked out when they changed how like the human female blink that they changed? And people freaked out about that. Like people were like, even Ghostcrawler even brought it up in an interview. They were like, "Whoa, oh my god!" And like, now did we even remember that ever even happened? Like, I don't know. I think.
I didn't mind the changes on Sylvanas. I was cool with that.
You were okay with those.
Just saying.
Right.
He's down with that. Maybe that's what all the undead females are going to look like.
Do you think there's any possibility we'll see this in the next expansion?
I hope.
Whoa.
We better.
One of the things he said was that they would release them piecemeal. So
really?
That they would release.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I know.
Like,
I was like, whoa.
Wouldn't that be a huge
really?
selling point to bring people back in the expansion of like, and we got a whole new character? Like, everybody would just be intrigued. Oh my god, I want to see what my character looks like now.
Yes. And also, like, imagine if you're, I think we all know they've been working on dwarves, and we think they've been working on orcs. Like, there's no way they're going to do one. There's no way they're going to do 2 alliance races as the first 2. They're not that stupid. And it's just like, they're going to be doing 1 alliance and 1 horde. But imagine if you're playing a Drene, and you're like, oh well, the dwarves got new models.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why would you? They must be really falling behind their proposed schedule or something in order to be saying we will release them piecemeal. Like, we'll do 2 or 3 and then bring the rest out as... I think he said from memory, like I'm remembering the quoting, what he actually said was, oh, we'll release them as we go through the patch cycle. We'll bring more out as we go. It's just like... And that made me think they were coming, but...
That doesn't seem right. I mean, if you're going to do something like this, something that people have kind of been expecting for the last, 2.5 years now, doing it piecemeal, I don't think is necessarily the right thing. I think that we got to get that stuff out there together.
Do you think that they're just sort of talking about it in the fashion that they're talking about, like it's kind of important because like we bring it up on this show and we all think that we really want it, but they sort of look at it and just go like, yeah, but this doesn't really matter. Like people will just keep playing the game. Like it's not that important.
I think like it's one of the things is like, do you want new character models or do you want a raid?
Right, that's what I'm sort of saying. It's like, where do they allocate resources? It's like, well, they'll keep playing. They'll keep playing. Yeah, it'd be so nice at this point in the life cycle of the game, though, to see them revamped.
Mm-hmm,
I agree with you, Gary. If there's no new classes and there's no new races in the new expansion, then if there's new character models, that's great. That's the new shiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But does that the thing is, does that wear off within like an hour? Like, does that just kind of, you're just like, oh, okay, I've seen it, and now it's no big deal. The thing is, they look so dated now with all the new character models in the game. They look so much better. You're just like, wow, why do I look like I'm from 1920?
Yeah, exactly.
They look great on my Commodore 64. They look amazing.
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
My toaster renders those beautifully.
Yeah.
It's just like, but it's like, remember the Pandaren first came out and you had the Pandaren on the beta and you like I rolled a Shaman on the beta because obviously, and I rolled a Dwarf one and then a Pandaren one, and I was just like looking at the two, I was like, wow, man, I love dwarves, but that sucks. That model sucks. And it's just like, now it's just going to be, you're going to be looking at those, if they do it with this piecemeal thing, you're going to be looking at those models and being like, this model's amazing. Everything else is awful. But then you won't care. Like, nobody cares now that the Pandaren is so much better. You won't. I think Gary's right. People are just going to be like, anyhow, what's now?
What if we make a deal with Blizz? And we say, all right, Blizzard, here's the deal.
We're negotiating now.
We're negotiating right now. You give us character models, and we'll stop bitching about the dance studio. How about that? We'll stop bringing that up.
I thought you were going to say spectator mode. I thought you were going to say
no. I will never stop bitching about the lack of spectator mode, no matter what you give me. I thought you were going to say the Emerald Dream.
So many things to bitch about. See, it's hard to negotiate.
That's true.
It really is. Really is.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, last up this week, a few of these interviews have touched on topics of the topic of raid scaling and new type of content for players. While we were talking to Greg, not we, me, you, we're talking to
Right.
Greg and Ion. It's
Ian.
A-I-O-N.
Ion.
It had better with wings and flying PvP.
Ion. Got him. His name is
You've
Got him.
killed Gary.
That's right.
You've
That's
killed
right.
him dead. Look,
You
he's
know,
gone.
I don't know if the chat room realizes
I can't
that
do
your
a
last
show
name
with you.
is
I
everyone
can't do
aware
it.
that your last name is the same name as the main bad guy in Legend of Zelda?
Yeah,
Does
everybody's
anyone know
got everybody's got to know that. Come on,
I don't know if we can trust you, Ganon.
you can't.
know.
I'm a shifty motherfucker. Let's go.
That's right.
Oh man, you're killing me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's a-
He does
Can't even
do
do
that.
he does. Can't even do a show with you. This is great.
I'm sorry.
It's crazy.
I don't even have a beer. We have any beer? All right.
Yeah, what happened to the beer run?
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
He's got
shafted it.
back.
Worst beer minion.
he should have gotten back from the tiny beer store by now.
He didn't
With
buy.
the bag of tiny
He bought
beers.
big boy beers. We buy
Oh,
big beers.
look at him.
He's gonna go grab one.
He's growing up. He's growing
He
up.
didn't
right
buy
before our
tiny
eyes.
beers. I wonder. Can we
Oh.
write? Coltrane, can we write a tiny beer song and you could voice be like tiny beers?
Oh boy.
Tiny little beers. Tiny little beers.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
you
dude.
bought a really big beer. What is that? Look at this thing.
He's just like
Whoa.
he's just
It's like the
overcompensating.
size of my
Almighty arm.
head.
He's like
That is-
Whoa.
he's gone way too far. He's gone
Apparently
way
the-
too far in the opposite direction. This is like what they did with Cataclysm to Mr. Pandaria Daily Quest. The
Yeah.
massive overcompensation chat.
Right. Right.
Apparently there's
Holy
a
for holies.
Oh.
In the words of Antonio Banderas, holy for holies.
All right. Coltrane, I'm gonna mute you in a second.
Yeah, I've had to do that before. I feel you.
Wow, I lost my train of thought. So what were they talking about? Oh, they were talking about rating. Yes, that's it. Rating. And they were talking about how important it was that players actually feel that their actions matter in the game and not just that they're like, they don't feel just like cogs in the big machine. But it's actually that, they want everybody to feel like individuals and they actually matter in the raid. But that it's really easy to take that much too far and then put too much pressure on the individual players of the encounters. So I don't know. Is this like a balance thing that you guys feel have shifted in raids recently? Perhaps thanks to the arrival of LFR.
It's a tricky one. I think LFR has necessarily had to take away like some responsibility from individuals. Like you can't put people into a sort of completely random situation and then be like, oh, and by the way, if you get it wrong, everyone's gonna be really mad. Everyone's gonna shout at you,
Right.
and it's gonna be horrendous. Unless you're the tank, in which case that is your life from this point forward.
Right.
Tricky.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know whether it's genuinely something that's actually been a shift in the encounter design. I'm trying to think back now to fights where you had real individual responsibility. Like you guys are more the raiders here. Come on.
Right.
Help me
Well,
out.
I think that like with some of the first raid encounter that happened in Mists of Pandaria, they kind of shifted where like each fight featured a different class. Like Stone Guard
Right.
was like a tank fight. Like that was made for the tanks. Like they had to do their thing. And there were other fights that had like, okay, this is for DPS and this is heals.
Right.
And I thought that was kind of a cool thing. Now, what's interesting is like Lei Shen. That is
Yeah.
a very individualistic fight, meaning one guy can wipe you, right?
Right.
They can wipe the entire raid.
Yep.
And that's kind of cool in the aspect of it adds that layer of excitement and all that. But it's also not cool if you're that guy, right? So if you're
Right.
like, that's
Right.
not fun because nobody wants to get yelled at. And look, in World of Warcraft, there are players of various skill levels. There are heroic raiders, there are casual, and we all try and play. But if you're that guy that keeps screwing up, if you're getting yelled at, you feel like you're letting your team down. I don't know. Then you're like, what did we say, Dave? Right? You're Dave.
Right.
Nobody
Yeah,
wants
you're
to be
Dave.
Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah. Dave the
It's
noob.
always Dave. It's always Dave. Yeah, it does seem to be like they have gotten into this mode where it has switched from being a strict DPS race to being more of a finesse thing for one of the support classes or whatever. And so you're trying to they're trying to find a way to include everybody, and I'm not so sure that they necessarily do it right all the time either. It's kind of one of those things. When Mists of Pandaria first opened up, like Colt was saying, you'd have particular fights that would be for particular classes or for particular roles. So this one is a heal fight, this one is a tank fight, this one's a DPS fight. And that's pretty easy, and nobody really feels a ton of pressure because you're doing it as a group. But as soon as, like the twins this time around in Throne of Thunder, you have somebody that has to go into a special realm and paint and do a little painting thing, and if they screw it up, oh, Dave!
And who might that have been, Zug?
Yeah, I know, it was me. It was totally me.
I did drawing. I like the drawing. I always do drawing. I'm always like, I go draw the little pretty patterns. It's like, this is fun. But like, think about, and the other thing is, it can be really irritating for the raid leader as well. Like, what was the guy's name? The guy who turns you into
Dave?
Lord Rylith. Yeah, Dave, obviously. Like the guy who turns you into the guy.
I like it.
Awesome.
The guy who turns you into, is it Amber Shaper Unsock, who turns you into miniature Lord Rylith and you stomp around for a little while being little Rylith? And it's like he would always invariably pick the one person who was least well equipped to become miniature Lord Rylith and turn that, like, you know, the guy who hasn't done the fight before, who does terrible deeps anyway and has like 1 frame per second. It's like, no, I will not pick you, a competent person with good frame rates and a high-powered computer. I will pick that guy. And it's like, oh, screw you, that boss. And like that sort of thing, the randomly allocated individual responsibility is one of the most frustrating mechanics. Is you're like, oh god, that guy's not ever going to wipe. And it's just like, that sucks. So, yeah.
Well, one thing in the interview that Ion, as a hostess, said was that in these new raids in 5.4, and he kind of hinted at it, he didn't exactly say it, that the raid leader might be able to choose who that guy is. You know, like, versus it being random or like, oh, it's this and that, like, that it might be so
Can it be Dave?
So Dave can hopefully not get as much pressure anymore.
Right.
No, I want the raid boss to be Dave.
Exactly.
The raid boss is always Dave, effectively, isn't it? Because it's that one guy messing up. Dave is that boss. He's the one who can't screw up Lei Shen. Stop fighting as Dave.
But that's a good thing, though. If the raid leader can pick who the guy is going to be, that's a great thing for that guy. It's a great thing for Dave, because he can just kick back and do his thing, you know? So it's a good thing for the team. Dave, you can just relax. Dave, nothing to worry about, Dave. You're fine.
It's okay,
You're all right.
Don't worry.
You're all right.
It is. It's tricky.
So that could be kind of he didn't exactly say it, but it sounded like he was kind of alluding to it, that if the raid leader can choose, I think that's a great thing, that you still have individual responsibility, but you can choose that individual responsibility, which I think is a good thing for raid teams and good for morale.
That would be cool.
How about on heroic scenarios? Kind of like a painting?
It's kind of like the painting. No, it's kind of like the painting in the twins. Like the painting in the twins, the raid leader can send that person. Like they can say, oh, you know, Pat or Coltrane, you're good at this. Go paint the patterns. Whereas it's not like sort of someone is randomly teleported into the Twilight Zone. Good luck.
Right.
It's like, you know, that's the issue, I think.
When Ion spoke about heroic scenarios, he said they were happy with the way that they worked mechanic-wise, but thought that they could probably do something more difficult. I don't know, because it required pre-made groups. Are they not hard enough? They need to ramp it up?
I think they could ramp it up, and that wouldn't be a bad thing. I think that there are a lot of players that are going through it and just kind of doing it, you know, just willy-nilly, and they're just kind of going through and going, oh yeah, it's nice. It's nice. But maybe it would be better to have a little bit more challenging. I mean, you do have that communication going, so you should be able to talk to each other and figure it out and figure out exactly what you need to do and have it be a little bit more of a challenge. And then that first time around, maybe you don't succeed necessarily right away. But then that next time around, you can go through a little bit better. That would be perfect, I think. You know, coming from a guy that wipes on every boss at least 100 times, you know, I mean, that wouldn't be bad. That's not a bad thing.
I got to say one quick thing that we got to remember too, Cataclysm, right? Those 5-man heroics, there was a lot when it first came out, before everybody outgeared it and all that jazz. There was actually a lot of CC, and a lot of groups died. And they didn't like that. Like, there was a lot of negative result, and the reason is because people did it with random people. right?
Right.
So you queue up, and then let's say you got Dave in there, and Dave isn't doing the CC, right? He's not. Dave's not doing it. So, because it's random, you don't know. But with heroic scenarios, these are pre-made groups, which means you can make them more difficult. You can include CC, and it's okay because you know who you're with.
And then if you have Dave in your group, it's your problem. It's your fault.
Yeah,
the pre-mood of it, you should weed out the Daves. This is a perfect place for them to
your own group. I don't know. I liked those difficult dungeons. I liked that they were hard. I really enjoyed going in there with a group and being like, right, you made sheep this. And like, I was tanking at the time, and I was a control freak, and I'm a bossy ass as it is. And, you go in there, and you're just like, right, you do this, you do that. Let's get organized. Let's go, and we'll do this. We'll do this thing as a group of random people, and we'll kill this boss, and it'll be great. It'll be fun. Because it's difficult. Like, I just don't agree with Blizz in this. You have to have pre-mades for it to be hard thing. I don't agree with that fun.
I don't agree with that either.
I
think you should. I think you can definitely have that kind of difficulty. Not necessarily. Oh God, what the hell was that? One of the dungeons. I'm trying to remember now. Names are escaping me. But in Cataclysm,
Jimmy.
But it was
Grim
before
Battle.
Grim
Battle. Jimmy.
Where you had to CC the hell out of everything, and it just wasn't. That part wasn't fun to me, and it wasn't necessarily challenging. It was just something that you needed to do, otherwise everybody was going to die.
That really long trash run where you had to bomb it.
Right, and so having something like that, not necessarily fun. Having some other kind of challenges, though, that is, I think, good no matter what difficulty you're talking about.
Yeah,
but if it's just a face roll, I mean, who cares?
I agree. I totally agree with that point. Face roll is just boring. You're just like doing it. Like I think that the Lich King dungeons, those were like, all right, let's just get through this. You know what I mean? Let's just go. It was like a speed run. Right. But like we have to all admit, like I love the challenge. I really do. I like it when they're CC. But like in Cataclysm, in those dungeons, that like second boss where if you didn't stand in front of the beam to absorb the beam, then the thing would transform. I mean, how many times did we wipe as a group on that? How frustrating was that? You'd like, stand in front of the beam! And they wouldn't do it. And if that happens over and over and over again, look, that starts to drive you nuts, you know? Yeah. So I want the challenge. I don't want it to be a face roll. But when that guy's not interrupting the beams, after a while, like, the 5th or 6th time, it starts to drive you crazy. Especially if you have limited time. That's right. Totally agree.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it was a real sort of like, again, the pendulum swing thing, which they keep doing. Like Blizzard, shoot for a happy medium. Stop overcompensating. Like Shaft with the huge beers. It's like they went from the Wrath sort of.
Wow, he's not even on the show, and he's not even on the show, and you shiv them in the back with an ice pick.
Unbelievable.
It's just how I roll, man. It's just how I roll.
He's not even here. It's right after you shaft it.
Right.
But it's like. They went from the AoE fest of late Wrath dungeons, into Kata, where they're like, right, we're going to make these really hard. Right, and then like late Kata dungeons with those Hour of Twilight ones were a complete joke. Like they were just like, what? This is rubbish. Like people were nervous. People going into them like, oh, what's the strat? What's the what is the tactics for this dungeon? Like try not to stand in bad.
Yeah, shoot them in the face.
Pretty much that. Shoot people in the face. Yeah, try not to stand in the bad. Try to tank all the things and heal all the things, and you'll probably be fine. Yeah, and then they just went even further that way with the Mist dungeons, where they're just like, turn up, try not to suck, and you'll probably be through it. It's like somewhere between the two, and they're like,
you should start making raid. Liv, you should start making raid guides, and just
honestly, I drive my raid leader insane because we were doing Iron Con today.
Show up. He was like, do not suck. End of guide.
I'm good.
We were doing Iron Con today.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
We're done.
Just do the entire setup. And
Liv's 10-second guides.
This is my guide for Iron Con, and just be like, don't suck, don't die.
The advertisement is longer than the actual guide.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we were doing Iron Con today, and my raid leader was like, okay, so here's the tax. The first thing, this, second thing, 20 minutes later. And like someone came in and was like, oh, what do we do? I was like, okay, spread out, stack up. When people tell you to, don't stand in bad. Stand behind him at the end.
I'm telling you, I think you're onto something here. There's a show here.
Yeah, there is.
There's a new Zam show of 10-second raid guides. It's like the Twitter of raid guides. Don't stand in the red stuff.
Suck.
Done. Try not to suck.
Try not to suck.
Livia Grace, peace. I'm out.
Drop the
microphone.
Drop the mic. Boom.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some viewer questions to get the F out of here. Oh wait, first I want to tell you I'm gonna plague you guys with Mike Shaftnet. Have you guys watched Waypoint?
Yes.
Waypoint, our World of Warcraft
Thumbs up.
show. You must watch it. I'm gonna play it and torch it. Why isn't it playing? Wow, it's not playing. What's up with that?
Oh no.
Is that your
Shaftnet.
Chromecast?
Speak, Shaftnet.
Mike.
Speak. It's not playing.
Speak to me, Mike. Mike, speak to me.
Just have him go over to the microphone. He'll do it.
Yeah, right. Could you just, oh, wow, everything's locking up. Oh well, there's our question.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There you go.
It's all right.
Dave Shaftnet. That Dave.
All right. Well, if you guys have not watched Waypoint, go watch it. We have World of Warcraft edition, we have the League of Legends edition, and the Final Fantasy 14 edition. But you guys are WoW fans, so go watch the World of Warcraft edition. It's totally worth it. What day does it come out? What day does it come
Good
out?
show.
Tuesdays, right?
Tuesdays. I'm glad you know. I'm glad Pat knows.
I knew.
I know. Obviously, I don't know. I have no
Of
idea
course.
what's today. I have no idea.
Of course.
All right, let's do some beer questions. So if you guys have questions for the Legendary Crew, send them over to submit@gamebreaker.tv. And of course, keep an eye on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/gamebreakertv. We have a new YouTube channel as well. I should tell everybody about that. They should. Should we? Maybe we shouldn't. Probably not.
Don't say it.
No, we probably shouldn't because some like 12-year-old kid nuked our site and yeah. Okay.
No.
sure.
Uh-oh.
I hate the internet.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
It's the
And
worst.
reveal them to Pence.
It is the worst place ever.
It's
Yeah.
dark. It's dark place. All right, let's do some viewer questions. First question from Tony Britt. Tony Britt says,
whoa.
why do is that wrong? Oh wow, that's from like last week. When is that?
No, that's the second one.
Oh.
But let's go with the
Try-
second one first.
Oh no, I just sure. Okay, wait, didn't read nobody read that.
No,
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't remember that. But
Matthew Woody says, do you think Hearthstone could rejuvenate, pun intended, interest in World of Warcraft? Hasn't it? Already?
I don't know. I think that's a tougher question.
Wait
think
till
it-
the
I think it-
cross promotion mounts and
Right.
goodness of Cash Shop
Oh,
come into
yeah.
play. Yes.
There is all that, but I think that it's increased awareness to, or maybe rejuvenated some of the interest in the lore and the some of these characters that are being presented. Not necessarily in the MMO game.
Really? You
but
don't think so?
I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of.
Well, I guess
don't
it's
see
it's
the
hard from
real
a player
ties,
who's
but
it's hard from a player who's playing actively. But
right.
I could see a lot of players who maybe are taking a break from World of Warcraft, kind of hanging
Sure.
out,
Yeah.
still liking Blizz, seeing that everybody wants a Hearthstone beta key, getting back
Yeah.
into the world. Like I don't know, it'd be on my mind again. I don't know. I think it could.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it could
yeah.
definitely
It would-
bring people
Yeah,
back.
true.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I think what kind of helps is the launcher. Actually,
Oh,
the Hearthstone
yes.
launcher.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant because you've got all the games right there on the left side. And I started playing Diablo 3 again just because I'm like, oh yeah, Diablo 3.
Oh my God, I'm
yeah,
sorry for you,
right.
sir.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right there.
That is better.
And then I
actually.
quickly
Yeah.
logged out. But we don't have
Yeah.
to get into that.
We don't have to talk about that. That's a really
At least
good
till that
point,
next big
actually.
set of changes come down the pipe. Yes.
Yeah,
That's right.
that is a really good point, though. That's a really good point because actually, I kind of did the same thing. Like I managed to get to play the new expansion for Diablo at Gamescom, and I was like, wow. And I came back because it's been sitting there looking at me for ages. Like that
Mhm.
beta for the launch has been out for some time before the Hearthstone one was. But that's very true because you've got it. You can't. Can you even run Hearthstone without that launcher? I don't think you can.
No.
Like it automatically
Nope.
installs it, doesn't it?
It is.
So
It
everyone's
is
got that
all about the
launcher
new launcher, which is.
with it
I think it's-
blinking at them, saying,
I think it was long overdue. I love the new launcher. I think it's brilliant. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Great way to deliver information. Like you said, great way to like stick it in front of your face. I love it. Have you guys even talked about it since it launched?
Not really.
No.
Like we looked at the original screenshots. We haven't really talked about it because we've always had so much more other stuff to talk about.
Right.
Wait, is there a way? I was looking the other day. Like I didn't have time, but Chef, I
Uh-huh.
thought you were saying, is there a way to see where all your friends are and what they're doing from the launcher?
Yes.
Yes.
You can see
can.
them game
There
by
is.
game. Game by
Yeah,
game.
you
You
can
can't
actually-
see, like, if you've got people in Diablo and you're in the Warcraft panel, you can't see the Diablo people in the Warcraft panel,
Right.
which
But it's
they don't
nice.
have a centralized thing. But it's
But
very
s-
cool. Like, you log into it and they're there.
Yeah, I mean, how awesome
Now-
is that? Just see what's going on, and like before you even have to log in, you can see like what friends are playing what.
Right.
And
you
now-
see it
and
like,
now-
well, Dave's in.
I was like,
I
oh
better
god,
not log
Dave's
in.
gone
Right, so
wow.
we
We
won't-
should probably
we won't
not
play.
log in. Yeah.
Dave.
Because Dave's in. No, not good.
He's
all
gonna
they
probably
need
say
now is-
hello, and that's going to be awkward.
That's
So-
right. All they need now is a remote chat. I think that would be really great if they
Yeah.
could do like some sort of remote chat from the launcher, that would be brilliant.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
I want offline mode. Where is my offline mode? God
what
damn
happened
it.
to that? Come
Whatever
on.
happened to that? Like, they build a whole new launcher and they didn't put that in?
That's actually
Like
a good
the
question.
heck?
So if you want to play Hearthstone like on a plane or something and you don't have Wi-Fi, you cannot play, can you?
No, you
Right.
can't.
No.
SimCity style. You cannot.
Correct.
That's kind of interesting.
Always
yeah.
online.
Oh,
A lot of people digging that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But what I actually meant was appear offline. Like, where is the appear offline for Battle.net? Like, if I want to just be like, oh my god, Dave keeps logging on, I just don't want to talk to that guy. I just want to appear offline.
Hey, Blizzard, I'll negotiate something with you.
Negotiation time.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
it's negotiation.
If you give me the appear offline mode, I'll stop bitching about character creation, about the new character models. How about that?
Ooh.
I'll stop bitching.
Ooh, interesting.
Give me that one. Come on.
Yeah,
Let's make that
actually,
section
what
B.
Yeah.
I'll put that up front. Let's put section
Yeah.
B.
Right.
It's also the first time if you give us the character models, then we'll stop bitching about the dance studio. So how is this going to work?
There were planes in
gonna put
Wintergrass,
offline
by the
mode.
way.
Wait. Were we ever really bitching about the dance studio? Let's be
Well, we
honest
were,
now.
but we stopped. That's
I
years
wasn't.
ago.
Yeah.
I don't want the dance studio. I don't give a
I don't want
monkeys
it.
about the dance
I
studio.
don't-
I'm not
I don't
interested.
care.
Nobody
There
really
were
gives a
planes in
rat's ass.
Wintergrass. It was on the box. And it was in the beta, too. I remember flying planes in Wintergrass. They're gone now.
Right.
Gone. Where
Right.
put them back? God damn it. But I think, will Hearthstone rejuvenate interest? No. It won't. It's not going to make a difference.
What?
Sorry, Gary'd already moved on.
Crazy.
I don't think it is.
Bah! Bah! Tony Britt says, why?
Woody.
He's just like, I'm checking out.
His name was Woody.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Woody.
Good see. Coltrane, do you have this question? Can you read it?
Yes. Tony Britt
Thank you.
asks, why do many people think that Warcraft will never be available on console game systems? There are many that are currently available that are not named Warcraft. Every current system has a hard drive, network, keyboard, mouse, and voice communications. Sound familiar? So says Tony Britt. So what do you guys
What do you
think?
I don't think we'll ever see it.
How would Warcraft... Well, I don't even know how that would work on a console. There's way too much stuff. Like, there's way
Right.
too many abilities,
How would-
and like it'll run on a toaster for sure, but...
I mean,
I don't
just
know.
for your totems alone, Liv.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
come on. You need
I mean, okay,
20
I guess you could-
buttons.
Like, if
Final
you could... The thing is, like,
Fantasy.
you'd have to play it with a keyboard. And if you're
Right.
playing
But
it with a
they-
keyboard, why
but
wouldn't you
they
just
also-
use a computer?
But they did make Final Fantasy with a controller in mind. I mean,
That's right.
you could.
It's
but
on
you-
PS3.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could hook up a keyboard and mouse to your computer to your console. But how many people are going to do that?
Yeah.
I don't think in this life cycle. I think you're probably definitely going to see the next Titan
Yeah.
on a console.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It would be better
Could
to put
be.
another title into it instead of Warcraft, which has been around for a while. So
Yeah, really. And it's like, well, like, I mean, how many, like, you have, well, I'm trying to do maths, God, it's like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 action button slots. On my UI, I
Yeah.
have 50 action button slots. Okay, I only use 40 of them constantly, but I still have 40 action button slots, and then another 10 for things like mass rares and healthstones, hearthstones, professions, etc. That all lives on one. And it's like, how would you translate that into a console where you didn't use a keyboard? And if you're going to use a keyboard and a mouse, why? Like, do people really do that? Am I the only person in the world who doesn't sit with their Xbox and a keyboard and a mouse? Like, I'd just rather use a PC because it's better performance, it's a better processor. And everything.
I don't know one person that uses a console with a keyboard and a mouse. Not one. I have
Right.
never seen one hooked up, to be honest.
No,
All right,
no,
I got a theory. Gary, do you have Gopher queued up?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Do you?
Hold on.
You got it ready?
Oh, good point,
Where is he?
Sashio. It
Wait,
is
I gotta
12.
find him.
Uh-oh.
Get him ready.
Hang on.
Come
Mind
on,
bullets.
Dave
Mind
Gannon, let's go.
Mind bullets
Dave.
coming your way.
He's ready.
All right. You know, in World of Warcraft, they're starting to remove abilities. Maybe that's proof that WoW is coming to consoles! Whoa! There it is! Mind blown. There's proof. There it is, right there.
Yeah, that is. It's proof.
Thank you.
It's proof. Yeah, it's
But
done.
nothing-
Let's move on. That's a question. Yes, moving on.
But I will say, Final Fantasy XIV, there actually is a decent amount of abilities. You got 2 full hot bars there.
Realized that you were trying to trick them
Oh my
into the
God.
How do they do that with a
They could push the
console? 2 full
Romulans
hot
even
bars with a
farther into the
console?
enemy camp.
Well, they got to like
They could
right
start to
trigger and
openly
left
help
trigger.
The Dominion. If worse came to worst, they could actually join the war against us. I
love
have a
this clip.
distinct feeling that victory or defeat would be decided in the next few minutes.
It's my favorite.
It's all about the setup right there.
It's a fake. It's real.
There you go.
It's real.
There you go.
It's a fake. It's real. It is real.
All right. That's it. They're removing abilities. It's done. All right.
That's
We got a
right.
video question from our main man over at Core Gaming.
Burger TV and host of Legendary. Core Gaming here. So my question for you guys this week is pretty out there. I understand that there are several possible new leaders for the Horde in the running, such as Vol'jin, Bloodhoof, tons of people. But my question for you guys is, do you think Blizzard will put this into the hands of the players? With both the Horde and the Alliance going into Orgrimmar to take down the current War Chief, I think Blizzard leaves the window open for them to allow both the Alliance and the Horde to help choose the new War Chief. Possibly, the Horde asking the Alliance, say, hey, why don't you help us pick the new War Chief so that we can have better relations? And then, of course, when they pick the new War Chief, the War Chief can just immediately turn on them and say, no, war with the Alliance. Just like it goes. I think another game, Guild Wars 2 recently did a sort of election also in-game for selecting a new leader of something or other, and I think Blizzard could pretty easily piggyback on that idea. So, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for picking my question this week, and I will see you guys next time.
Wow! Would Blizzard actually let the players influence the War Chief choice? Could it be? I will say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah.
How
It's
would
already
that-
decided.
How would that work?
It's a there's other MMOs that are getting more involved with the community. EverQuest Next, they got the whole landmark thing. They're getting more people involved. WildStar. Maybe this could be a thing. Possibly. No, it's never going to happen. There's
No.
just zero chance. No, it's
Probably about
Yeah.
zero.
no.
No,
I'm sure
it's
Dave
probably
Kosak is not very thrilled to even hear that question. Be like, what? No, I've got stories planned already. Come on, let's
Yeah,
go.
exactly. He's already planning like 2 expansions ahead or something. There's no
That's
way.
right.
Like, can you
It's
imagine
not
if
like
they
it's not like
actually
World of Warcraft all of a sudden to become lost and they just have no idea what the next episode is going to be. They're just like,
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for saying that.
oh, we put the book somewhere. We should just ask the players. Let's just ask the players. They'll all choose the same one on every
I have
single
no
server
idea what
as
this
well.
story's about. Just make it up as we go along.
We've run out of
We've
ideas.
had it all planned out this whole time. Oh.
No,
Sorry,
there's
Liv,
and
go ahead.
actually, we already know that the Horde cinematic contains the War Chief selection.
Oh.
It's already been announced by Dat Blizzard
Whoa.
in an interview that they've actually got that in there, and the Alliance one is a little different apparently.
Oh, right.
So
So that is
yeah, because they're
no.
obviously less fast.
That
So
is
that's a
no.
no,
No.
from me.
No.
That's a
No.
No,
No, no,
no,
no, no, no,
no,
no, no.
no.
I'll just sit back again. I'll just
Pat
sit back
Crane,
over
follow
here.
him on the Twitter at Pat Crane. Of course, go over to converttораid.com and listen to the Convert to Raid podcast. And soon you'll be watching the Convert to Raid podcast.
That's right.
If we ever stop
Right
being
here.
lazy.
I know. we gotta stop being lazy. Let's do
Hey,
that.
have a great time at PAX, man. And let's
Thank
can't wait to
you.
hear about everything. Have a good time.
Thank you very much.
Coltrane Asparagus. Follow him at the _Coltrane with a K. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. It was a pleasure. I can't say
Thank
always.
you.
Never did a show before.
Yes,
you wanna do an
it was
Ever-
nice to meet you, sir.
Heard you want to do an EverQuest next show.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? No, we're on
that's
Legendary.
awesome.
No.
Yeah, it's all
no,
good.
no.
Done. Olivia D. Grace. Follow her on Twitter at Olivia D. Grace. Go over to Zam.com and watch her show over there as well. And of course, right here on Legendary every Thursday night at 8 p.m. DT. You can follow me, Gary, again, and follow Gamebreaker TV, Gamebreaker TV. And don't forget, time is running out. I'm going to have the clock ticking. The clock, it's like a reality show. The clock is ticking down. Hearthstone beta keys are going fast. You're going to miss out. Getting over to hearthnation.com right now. And make sure you sign up to enter to win your key. All right. We do the show live every Thursday at 8 PDT. I'll probably never be back again, so we'll see you next time.